I'm up here in Reddick. I'm at a house. A 91-year-old lady calls in saying she was just.
Hey, how's it going? You see anybody out here running around or anything?
No, I haven't.
Let me be a little bit more specific. Your DNA was on. What?
하나 둘 증거를 들이밀자. 충격에 빠진 범인과 가족들.
Oh my God! I want to know why this happened.
도대체 이 범인은 어떤 범행을 저지른 것이며 법원은 이 흉악범에게 어떤 처벌을 내리게 될까? 지금부터 저와 함께 이 사건의 전말을 파헤쳐 보겠습니다. 처벌 실화냐? (2024년 6월 9일) 자정 무렵 플로리다주 레딕의 한 평화로운 주택가가 시끄러워졌습니다.
I'm up here in Reddick. I'm at a house. A 91-year-old lady calls in saying she was just. We get on scene. She's beat up really bad, and I guess she says she went to bed, woke up, and there's someone standing over her with a Spanish accent, and he just does beat her. And then he with his finger, and then she began screaming more, and then he ran out the house. I'm on scene now with deputies. I got K9 and L1 coming, but she's probably going to be getting transported to the hospital because she got wailed on pretty good.
Okay. All right, and you know, hospital you think she'll go, or we don't know yet?
I don't know yet. I would assume probably Advent. I mean, I can't say for sure. But I'm going to have a deputy follow the ambulance with her, and I got evidence heading up to the house too. So.
All right. I'll give Howard again a call real quick. Call you.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, sir.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey, if you're still in the area, will you come back over here and help me clear this big yard while he's talking to the victim? Okay. Bye. Hey, Gonzalez. Can you ask her what door did he go out of? Hey. Hello? Alright. Try to not let anybody enter out of that door.
Alyssa's with her right now getting all the clothes.
Okay.
And she's changing to go to the hospital.
All right. Well, we'll just get some tape. We'll lock down the house. Once it shoots out, we'll wrap it up.
Okay.
Start crime scene. I got evidence coming. Major crimes coming.
현장에 출동한 경찰들은 폴리스 라인을 치고 주변 이웃들을 상대로 탐문 수사를 벌이며 다급하게 증거를 수집하기 시작했죠.
Hey, how's it going? You see anybody out here running around or anything?
No, I haven't.
Alright, you have cameras or anything?
No.
No?
Light, that's all I've got.
You said what?
The light, I've all got motion light. That's all I've got. Is she okay?
I believe she'll be okay. She should be okay.
Yeah.
Alright.
Get the plate. What's going on?
Hey, did you see anybody run through here or anything?
Not to my yard, but I've been trying to. I went in the house at 9:30 to eat dinner,
Okay.
and came back out when my son said he saw one of the cars.
Oh, okay.
I was sitting there for a minute. And my
Your son live here too?
Huh?
Your son live here too?
Yeah, my son lives here. My daughter and son-in-law are down here from West Virginia on vacation. There was a car earlier that came up there, like it was still daylight out there, but I think that was one of her friends.
Okay.
I mean, it looked familiar, like I've seen the car before.
Okay.
But nobody's been in my yard because I got dogs out and stuff.
Right. Okay.
She okay?
I hope.
I mean, I've known this lady since I was 10 years old. So.
Hey, bro, come here a second.
Have you seen anybody walking around or anything?
No, I can look on my camera.
Can you please do that for me, please?
All right. The man went round the corner right there. He lived round the corner. We ain't see nothing.
Okay.
But she's so sweet. Why would they do something like this to her? I'm so mad.
사건의 전말은 이렇습니다. 모두가 깊은 잠에 빠져있던 그 시각, 91세 할머니가 홀로 머물고 있던 집 안으로 정체불명의 누군가가 은밀하게 숨어들었습니다. 어둠 속에서 나타난 침입자는 반항하지 못하도록 강압적으로 제압했습니다. 끔찍한 범행을 벌인 채 어둠 속으로 사라진 범인. 수사에 착수한 경찰은 사건 현장 주변에 설치된 CCTV를 샅샅이 분석하기 시작했습니다. 그리고 끈질긴 추적 끝에 범행 시간대 할머니 집에서 나온 수상한 인물을 포착했습니다. 곧바로 영상 속에 찍힌 인물의 동선을 쫓아 신원 파악에 나선 경찰. 그런데 특정된 용의자의 정체를 확인한 수사관들은 자신들의 눈을 의심할 수밖에 없었습니다. 용의자는 다름 아닌 피해자의 집 길 건너편에 살고 있던 14세 소년 제시 스톤이었습니다.
It was on June 9th around midnight that Stone entered the 91-year-old's home in Reddick.
평소 할머니가 아이패드 사용법까지 가르쳐주며 친손자처럼 다정하게 대했던 이웃집 아이. 그 아이가 바로 이 참혹한 사건의 장본인이었던 겁니다. 지금부터 이 악마가 수사관들의 예리한 질문 앞에서 어떻게 무너지게 되는지 그 신문실 안에서 천천히 들여다봐야겠습니다.
Man, you doing all right? You need anything? All right, Jesse, I'm Ryan, and we're gonna come in here and talk to you just a little bit, okay? We're waiting for your mama to get over here, just so we can all be here and talk and figure out what's going on, all right? Okay. You sure you don't want water or anything? Okay. If you need something, just give the door a little knock, all right? Okay.
사건의 실체를 밝히기 위한 신문이 시작됐습니다. 수사관들은 이미 범죄 현장에서 결정적인 단서를 확보한 상태였죠. 하지만 용의자 제시 스톤, 랜디 존이라고 불리는 14살 소년은 뻔뻔하게 거짓말을 시전합니다.
So, Randy John, do you know why you were brought up here today? It was about a week ago. Do you remember what you had told me kind of at that point when I first made contact with you? And if you don't remember that,
I don't remember exactly what I said.
Okay.
그런데 수사관은 처음부터 그를 강하게 몰아붙이지 않습니다. 일상적인 대화로 포문을 열며 용의자 스스로 빠져나갈 수 없는 함정을 파기 시작합니다.
Tell me about your talk with her on Friday. Do you guys remember what you talked about?
She asked me how school was doing. She asked, what I was interested in because it's been a while since I've been over there.
Oh, okay.
And then I don't remember. Anything else?
And y'all talked, you said, on the front porch? Is that what you said?
Front porch.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you guys ever talk, just for Friday? Did you ever, go inside her house at all and talk with her or anything like that?
No. Not that I remember.
Did you ever go inside her house, either to, I don't know, use the bathroom or anything like that?
That's about the only time I go in her house is to use the bathroom.
But she's asking, have you ever been in her house?
Yeah, to use the bathroom.
Okay. So this particular time, so we're talking, this was Friday, so this was June 7th. Do you remember going in her house?
Yeah, right before I left, I went and used the bathroom.
You did?
Right?
Okay.
And then, as I left the porch door, I got stung, and
you
better make sure you're telling the truth, John. Let me tell you something, Marty. Make sure you're telling the truth.
And like I said,
this is the time to tell the truth.
화장실에 가기 위해 잠시 들어간 게 전부라는 소년. 수사관은 이 답변을 기다렸다는 듯 숨겨두었던 결정적 카드를 꺼내들었습니다.
Well, Randy Dunn, I think you probably know that I wouldn't ask that question unless I had a reason to.
Okay.
So, I'm just gonna be honest with you because I feel like you've been mostly honest with me, and I know your mom's been honest with me. Is it okay if I call you his mom?
Yeah.
Guardian? Okay. I don't mean to.
It's okay. Yeah.
But when I came over to you on, I think that was Sunday, and I was asking you about your clothes and the video and stuff, and I explained that I wanted to get your DNA because I knew that you had been over there before because you mentioned, like you told us today, that you had talked with her. So I knew that at the very least there would be evidence of you being in the porch.
Yeah.
Right? So I went and met with your mom, and you guys signed a consent form, and we got your DNA.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So we sent your DNA and the up to the Florida Department of Law Enforcement, who does the testing stuff for stuff like that.
Okay.
Okay. Is there any reason at all that your DNA would be on her clothes?
Yeah, we when I said goodbye to her, we hugged, like a slight hug.
Okay.
That's.
Let me be a little bit more specific. Your DNA was on her.
What?
소년이 둘러댈 수 있는 모든 변명을 단숨에 차단시켜 버립니다.
And so I want you to really use this time here to be honest with me about what happened that night, because I think that we know what happened, and I think that your mom knows what happened because she also wrote down a list of times that you went in and out of the house that night, to include the time that the call came in. And I think you probably know that you wouldn't be in here unless we had a good reason to put you in.
I don't see. What?
It's not about see, Randy John. It's truth.
Yeah, truth. It's impossible for my DNA.
That's what we like to think too, brother, but that stuff doesn't lie, that stuff doesn't get made up. And sometimes the truth can be hard. You seem like a really good guy, man. You seem like you got a good head on your shoulders, you make connections with people that need help, you go out there and you help other people. And there's people out there sometimes that make mistakes, man.
I'm gonna come over here and I want to make
It doesn't make you a bad person for making a mistake. But we just need to understand, like, who is Randy John, man? Because I don't. And we don't think that was the intention. But we need to understand what happened, man.
그리고 손자의 결백을 믿었던 할머니는 명백한 과학적 증거 앞에서 무너지고 말았습니다.
Randy, I want to be real clear with you. We know what happened. What I want to hear from your own words, everything that went on that night.
God.
I want to know why this happened.
Randy, help us understand, man.
Randy, look at me for a second. You did this exact same thing when I asked you about you walking down the road or jogging down the road at 11 o'clock. And you did the whole, I don't remember, and I was like, and you finally admitted to it. And I think this is the exact same thing. I know what happened. And it's only going to help you for you to be honest with me about what happened. Because like I said, we know what happened because we have your DNA at the crime scene.
Like she said, it's not like we're talking about a sweater that it was found on. It's in this elderly woman's. What are you thinking, man? We're putting everything out here and you're kind of just looking at all this, man. I know it might be a shock, but what are you thinking?
I'm overly confused.
What are you confused about?
I wasn't even near her house. I was across the street.
A lot of people got a lot invested in that.
I can't even believe somebody did that.
Well, I'll give you guys 2 minutes. We'll be right back.
She deserves the truth to be told, and you know it. personally, I can't believe that this is a horrible thing, Randy John. That's a horrible thing. I don't even have the ability to do that. Well, it's hard for me to believe too. It's really hard for me to believe too that you would do a thing like this.
I didn't.
But how many times have you been caught in lies?
I know.
And this is the whole reason why you're on restriction. It's because you're not telling the truth about things. If this woman deserves to have the truth, she deserves it, and you know that.
What?
Don't say whys, Ready John, because why doesn't exist here.
I wasn't at her house.
Ready John, it's across the street. Look at her. Look at her. Look at her face. I've never seen you hurt anybody, but
I don't wonder.
what the hell are you doing outside at that time of night? It doesn't make any sense. You understand? Ready John, it doesn't make any sense. There's a million different things you can do. Being outside where you don't belong, and you know you don't belong out there.
I'm sorry, but I'm an outdoorsy person.
You're not an outdoorsy person. You're a sit in front of the TV kind of guy.
I don't have TV. I'm outside.
Well, I don't know. I hope and pray you did not do this to this woman. I hope and pray. I hope and pray you did not do this. Because this is horrific. This is a human being. And she deserves justice. She does. If this would have happened to your sister, what would you do?
Murder whoever did.
If you know anything about this, Randy John, for her at least, if you care about her, tell the truth. Tell the truth.
You know,
Remember, I tell you over and over and over again, don't tell lies, because what's going to end up happening is you're going to create a bad reputation, and then when you do tell the truth, nobody's going to believe you. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Here we are. Here we are. I can't say beyond a shadow of a doubt right now that you did or did not do this. I don't think that you did, but I can't prove it. And I already told you the evidence can hurt you. Because there's a whole lot of it. And you created it all.
가족의 분노와 피해자의 참혹한 사진 앞에서도 소녀는 기억이 나지 않는다며 회피를 시도합니다. 그러자 수사관은 할머니를 내보내고 단둘이 남은 신문실에서 새로운 전략을 구사합니다.
Mom, are you okay with us talking with him? Just us?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got Ready? Listen. I know that this looks bad. I know this can be kind of embarrassing to talk about in front of your mom, so that's why I wanted to kind of give us some space to just, you and I to talk. What I want to know how did this happen?
I wasn't over there at all.
Buddy, listen. Randy, look at me. Look at me. I know you were there, okay? We gotta move past that. I know that you were there. I just want to know what happened. Like,
범행의 원인을 10대 소년의 충동적인 호기심이나 제어할 수 없는 호르몬 탓으로 돌리며 소년이 느끼는 도덕적 죄책감을 교묘하게 덜어주는 방법이었습니다.
maybe you just, maybe you were tired of being on restrictions. I don't really know about the relationship between you and I'm gonna call her mom, but grandma. Maybe you're tired of her fussing at you or whatever it is that she does. I mean, I know that, again, you guys don't always have the greatest relationship, but maybe you were just, angry. Y'all got into it you and your grandma, maybe y'all got into a fight, I don't know. And for whatever reason, you came over to her house, and then this happened. Maybe you were just thought you could just go over there and you were just trying to see what she would do, what would happen. I don't know. I mean, you gotta how you do.
I just got done talking to your mom, and she said that, you're 14, right? I think every 14-year-old's kind of had some thoughts about what a woman's like and things like that. The thing is, Grandma's got no reason to lie to me, and you have no reason to lie to me about that either. That's totally normal and totally fine.
네가 악마라서 그런 게 아니다. 누구나 할 수 있는 실수였을 거다라는 수사관의 끈질긴 회유. 이 고도의 심리전에 굳게 닫혀있던 입이 마침내 열리기 시작합니다.
So is that something you've been? I heard you taking Grandpa's phone and taking a look at that.
Like no, I don't do it on Grandpa's phone. I haven't been able to do it since I had my computer because she takes everything away.
Yeah. Well, is it true that you were looking at some of that stuff? Like I said, it's totally normal, man. Okay. And like I said, then I think like Detective Hardigan said, it's totally normal to want to find out about these things.
Maybe you went into there, you didn't expect her to be awake, and so you freaked out. You panicked. Because that's what it looks like. Is that this was oh shit.
I don't really know what happened.
Oh.
Okay. Well, let's start from the beginning. What time did you go over there?
I honestly don't know because it's a bad habit I have not looking at time.
That's fine.
Okay.
I mean, if you don't know, that's fine. So, did you come into the kitchen door or the living room door or something else?
That was a side door.
So is that the porch door or is that the
living room had the piano.
The living room door?
Yeah.
Okay, and then what happened?
I was just kind of looking around at first.
Okay.
I saw Miss Edith laying down. I went to go see to make sure she's asleep.
Mm-hmm.
And she didn't move at all. I went back out to.
Okay.
I think that was the first time I went back to my room.
So you went from his house back to your house? Okay.
Yeah. Then I stayed in my room, I think for like 20 minutes.
Okay.
I was very cautious because the kitchen light was on.
At your house, you said? Okay.
And I was kind of snuck back into my room. I was there for, I don't know how long I was in there. But then I went back over to Miss Edith's house.
Mm-hmm.
I sat on the couch for a second.
Okay.
And tried to just think of if there's anything quiet I could do. Then I heard some movement in Miss Edith's room and I peeked around the corner. I think she was just turning over. And I just kind of went and sat outside the living room door for a little bit. I went back inside to get the grandpad to watch some videos. And then, as I was getting it, I heard more movement from her room. So I quickly put it down and went to make sure she was still asleep. And then she turned over, awake. She said something, I don't know what she said. But I grabbed her pillow and I put it. You couldn't see it was me. And she tried to take the pillow off, but I just held it there away. And then she grabbed my shirt right here, bolting through the field.
Behind your house?
Next to the house.
Okay, where did you go?
My room. I went back in my room.
What were you watching on the iPad? You said something very specific that you were watching videos. Tell me about that.
YouTube videos.
You sure about that? Because what I find hard to believe is that you can tell me what kind of videos you were watching, they were YouTube videos, but you can't tell me what happened after you put the pillow over her mouth. I think you were watching something else on that iPad. I need you to be honest with me, Randy. Sometimes the hardest part of the story is the thing we give the least detail about. And I can understand it, man. You're 14, you have so much more of your life to live. But what we need to understand, man, is we need to understand the truth. And I think you're telling most of the true story here. But I think you're conveniently leaving some parts out. And I think anybody would do the same thing in your situation. But man, like I said, do you want to be the Randy John that tells the truth, the Randy John that cares about my life? Because I know you are. And sometimes when we're in this tough situation, we gotta say some tough things.
First I was on YouTube and then I went one of the things.
Okay. How long did you watch that for?
I don't know, 5-10 minutes.
Okay. What were you watching? Do you remember? Yeah, we work these kinds of things all the time, so there's nothing you're gonna say that's gonna make us bashful. What were you watching?
No, I don't remember exactly.
I remember being 14 at one point, man. I know we don't forget stuff like that.
What happened to... How did it end up on the floor?
I don't remember anything after that.
You do. We both know you do. All three of us know you remember. Don't do that, Randy. You know exactly what happened. I know this is gonna be hard, man.
I don't remember everything.
I know you remember, Randy. Don't. When we've already gone through that, I know you remember. This is something you're not going to forget. I know you remember. Because you're wrapping her arms up, man. You're putting her on her stomach. Help us understand that, man. Because I know you're not going to forget that.
I was panicking.
I know you were panicking, but I know you still remember.
Randy, what do you present? Did you remember? Okay. But were you on top of her?
You're out there in her living room watching YouTube, and then you're watching. I get it, man. I've been 14 before. I've been an adult. It's a totally normal and natural thing. What I'm trying to understand, man, is it went from progressing from you being in the living room to going into her room, and then her on the ground. Help me understand that. Because I want to believe you, Randy John, but I don't know if what you're telling me is plausible. I think the reason you went into that bedroom was to have.
자신의 입으로 폭행 사실을 털어놓으면서도 소녀는 마지막까지 추악한 범죄를 부인했죠.
We deal with this kind of stuff every day, man. Like I said, this doesn't make you a bad person. But I want to understand the truth, man.
And Randy, you also need to remember, we've already talked with. She remembers everything that happened.
And we generally don't ask questions that we don't have the answer to, right, John? And I think you're being mostly honest with me, except for the parts that you just don't want to relive, man. And I don't want you to have to relive them either. But like we said from the beginning, man, from the jump, we're not doing this for us. This isn't about the sheriff's office. This is about.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw a true reaction out of you when you saw those pictures, because I know you're not that kind of guy.
Yeah, I don't think you meant to hurt her that bad.
I think you went in there with maybe it's got the best of you, and you were thinking your body for a moment. Mm-hmm. And you know what, man? I think every teenager has been there. I think you were just kind of caught in a bad situation. So help me understand, man.
When I was trying to, that's when I noticed that.
Yeah.
How did they get off, though?
about something I've been thinking about. The only thing I've been able to think of is when she twisted, and when my arm went, is her arm.
That's a pretty big jump, man. Would you believe that if we were swap chairs? Just help me understand, dude. And can I ask you a personal question? And Detective Hardigan, she, like I said, she works with this kind of stuff all the time, so don't feel like her being a female is going to make this any different. When you watch those videos, what does that normally do to you? Does that get you?
So, good.
Because what I'm trying to understand, man, is I think, have you thought about doing this for a while? I didn't even cross your mind once. So I find that hard to believe.
No, this is the first time I've been in her house at night.
Okay. And then another thing I'm still trying to wrap my head around here, man, is that, like I said, I have no issues with you taking the iPad and watching videos and stuff like that. What I have a hard time understanding is how you went in there, and how soon after did you go in the room after watching the video?
Well, I put the grand tag back where it stand, and then I was looking around for a little longer.
Were you still at that point? Trust me, I'm a man too. I get how all that stuff works. It doesn't just go away. It's a very specific thing that occurred in there. And like I said, we can kind of tell that you weren't telling us the truth earlier. And now that you told us the truth, it's what it looked like. You know what I mean? I don't think you're a bad person, Randy John.
I'm not big for talking about things like this.
I know. You gotta remember, this is what Detective Hardigan and I do every day.
I searched something up, but I forget what the exact words were.
Okay, well, what's the general idea of it then? Okay. So, you finished watching that video, and then you went in the room, and then ended up on her bed, and ended up here. And what I personally believe, and I want you to correct me if I'm wrong, is I think you felt better of it. You realized that it probably wasn't the right thing to do. Is that what happened?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think she was just gonna sleep through it?
I'm gonna step out for a little bit. I don't know if you want to keep talking with them or if you want to step out with me. It's up to you.
Yeah, awesome.
I know you've been in here for a while, and again, I do appreciate that you've been honest with us. I know this sucks. I'm gonna have a conversation with your grandma about what's gonna happen. I think you know that you're gonna be arrested for this.
하지만 피해자의 신체에서 발견된 자신의 DNA와 논리적 모순을 파고드는 수사관의 집요한 압박을 끝내 견디지 못했습니다.
Were you acting on thoughts from that during this incident? So how did you get... I know it just doesn't go away.
But I don't think about it for a few minutes.
So what was your main point of going in there then?
To make sure she was still asleep.
But the thing is that why did you need to make sure she was still asleep? That doesn't make sense.
I have a lot of things I do as precautions.
Tell me about that. What do you mean, precautions?
When I'm going into my house to get things at night, I'm quiet because I know my grandma will get up.
Right, but then because your grandma's going to get mad at you and then not want you up and awake. You're in somebody's house that doesn't know you're there. Why wouldn't you just run away?
I had no intention of doing anything to her when I went into her house.
Do you think the thoughts from watching your video kind of got the best of you? You're shaking your head. What does that mean?
Yeah. I don't understand why you're if you were trying to make sure she wasn't awake, because that definitely would have woke her up, and you already knew she was awake. Yeah, she was awake, and she was trying to get up, I was trying to keep her down because I don't know if she's fast.
You know she's not fast. She's 91 years old, bro. And I think sometimes we make mistakes. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Is it safe to say that you care about?
Oh, yeah.
So, how do you feel about this whole situation?
I guess I'm kind of still in shock about it.
Right. Well, I saw you crying earlier. Why were you crying?
Just all the feelings, emotions, just cascading in one area.
Was it because you kind of felt like you had gotten caught, or because you felt bad, or both? Or something unrelated, I don't know.
A mix of that and like confusion because.
What were you confused about?
Like how any DNA was there because I didn't do. I don't understand how the whole DNA thing works.
So how it works is your skin is a bunch of cells, right? So if I take my finger and run it across there, in theory, I've just left a bunch of my cells all over that desk, right? So we have really, really intelligent scientists that work for us. They're very good at their job, and they can take their little swabs and swab that and then send it. Remember when they rubbed your cheeks?
Yeah.
So they get the same kind of cells from inside your mouth, right? If your skin is the same on the inside as it is on the outside, it's a little bit different feeling and texture and stuff like that. It's still the same thing.
So it's different structure.
Yeah, different structure, 100%. See, you're a smart guy.
Well, the thing is chemistry has taught me like a lot, like how atoms arrange themselves. So I know that fabrics may feel and look different.
Mm-hmm.
They're the same composure, it's just they're
different densities and all types of stuff. But yeah, so you leave everywhere you go. You leave a piece of yourself. So if you go into Publix or I don't know where you shop or wherever your family is, you're going to leave something in there, whether it be dirt off the bottom of your shoe, if it's hair off the top of your head, if it's little cells or if it's spit or anything. That's how that works, man. And when you touch something, you potentially put all that on there. And based off of the situation, it sounded like it was pretty wild in that room for a few minutes. Is that safe to say? Can you imagine, man? Because I mean, she's not some vegetable. She understands what's going on around her. And I'm not trying to make you feel bad. That's not what it is. I'm just trying to put it out there. Do you feel sorry for what happened?
Definitely.
모든 자백이 끝난 후 손자를 향한 안타까움과 참담함이 뒤섞인 뼈아픈 마지막 일침을 가하는 할머니.
Ready? Mom wanted to say hi to you real quick. Hey, bud. So, they told me all what happened. Okay, that you did confess to it and everything. The first thing I want you to know is I am not going to stop loving you, okay? Look at me in the eye, please. I'm not going to stop loving you. I still love you. Okay, you did something wrong. And the best thing you can do from this moment forward is better. If they offer you counseling or anything like that, take it. Anything you can do to better yourself, take it. Understand? I'm not going to stop loving you, even no matter what. Because I know the good side of you. There is a good side, Randy John. You know what I'm saying? There's a really good side of you. And that's the part you need to, build. I can't possibly imagine why you would do that. I can't. I've been wrapping my head around it for the last hour, trying to understand it. But you have to, the one thing I want you to understand is I have got to go back to that community. You understand? And I'm going to try to do everything I can do to not get your name in the paper. But the world is going to know. That's how big this is. Okay? A lot of people, up north, even heard about this case. On the news. Understand? You know what I'm saying? She didn't deserve that. And I think you understand that, right? Whatever drove you to not think that this was... you went in her house first, right? You were in her house on her tablet. So there's a whole lot of things, a whole lot of opportunities you had to say, I shouldn't do this, I shouldn't do this, I shouldn't do this, right?
You had a lot of opportunities to change your mind. And you ignored all the signs. You ignored them all. Understand? And so you could only do from this moment better. That's all you can do. Understand? Because I can't, you're out of my hands now, unfortunately. There's nothing I can do to protect you. Understand? Nothing I can do anymore. You're on your own against the courts. You know what I'm saying? This is, and I don't even know if you're going to be allowed to come back to my house, ever. Because lives in that neighborhood. So there's going to be all this stuff going on because of all this one thing, ripple effect, right? So here we go. This is what ripple effect is. Okay? So I don't know what you're going to do for school now. I don't know when you're going to come home again or if you're going to come home again. This is very serious. Do you understand that this is serious? How serious do you think this is? No. Well, give me an idea of how serious you think this is.
I don't have anything to compare it to.
This is probably going to be the biggest thing. Yeah, right. I can understand that, but it's huge, Rainy John. And it's because of the ripple effect that they have to do everything that they can do to protect the community, right? They have to protect the community. And you have got to learn a lesson. You have got to learn a lesson. And one of those things is you got to learn self-control. You understand what I'm saying? You got to learn self-control. If you get opportunities to practice it, okay? Practice self-control because you're going to need that in your future. You always need that. We all need that, ready, John? Okay? I'm up here. You got to get self-control. I don't know what happens if Angel finds out or whatever. I don't know. But, because she's probably going to find out through the news. I'm going to hope that this doesn't get out in the news. But, you know what I'm saying? It's a big thing that you've done. And I hope you understand the gravity of it all.
자신이 무슨 짓을 저질렀는지, 그 범죄의 무게를 전혀 실감하지 못하던 14살 소년. 가족마저 자신을 더 이상 지켜줄 수 없다는 서늘한 현실과 마주한 순간 비로소 고개를 떨구고 맙니다.
So sorry to interrupt. Alrighty, John, I'm gonna head out, okay? I'm leaving you here in capable hands. Do you have any questions for me before I head out? Okay. I wish you the best of luck.
Did you guys explain to him what's happening?
Detective Hardigan's gonna explain all that here in a little bit. But I wish you the best of luck, man, okay? If you need anything, always you can reach out to us, okay? Alright, man. Miss, sorry, this was the situation we had to meet. I wish you the best of luck, man, okay?
Give me a hug, I gotta go. I gotta stick your Pepe. Alright? Remember, I love you, okay? You love Grandma? Do you? Okay. Alright, I'm sorry this is happening to you, buddy. I really am, okay? Yeah.
Yeah, just sit it there.
Yeah.
Alright, we're gonna go ahead and walk this way. Yeah, no worries. Put it right.
이제 이 끔찍한 범행을 저지른 범인이 과연 어떤 처벌을 받게 될지 법정으로 시선을 옮겨봐야겠습니다. 2025년 2월 7일 플로리다주 메리언 카운티 법정. 끔찍한 범행이 발생한 지 8달 만에 15세가 된 피고인 제시 스톤에 대한 최종 선고 공판이 열렸습니다. 법정 안에는 무거운 긴장감이 감돌았습니다. 최대 무기징역까지 선고될 수 있는 중대한 혐의. 피고인의 나이가 어리다는 점을 두고 검찰과 변호인 측은 한치의 양보도 없는 치열한 법정 공방을 벌였습니다. 먼저 변호인 측은 피고인의 불우한 가정사와 미성숙함을 방패로 삼았습니다.
Mr. Stone is before the court. He was 14 years old when this event happened. He had absolutely no prior criminal history on a score sheet whatsoever. He's never even been on probation with the Department of Juvenile Justice. Obviously never been committed to a juvenile program. His brain was nowhere near fully developed when this incident happened and is still probably 10 years off from that being the case. He had a relatively difficult childhood. He had no father figure in his life whatsoever. And certainly none of this is an excuse or a justification by any means for what happened. He is remorseful about what happened. You've heard testimony about that. He pled guilty. But he, lost contact with his sister, I believe shortly before this happened. He very minimal contact with his mother, and he was essentially raised by his paternal grandmother. Despite all that, he's done fairly well in school. He got ahead of grade, made pretty good grades, A's and B's, I believe it was. We believe that indicates that he would be amenable to supervision as well as specialized offender treatment. As the state points out, he does suffer from depression and ADHD. And obviously there are plenty of people that have depression and ADHD that never get involved in anything like this, but that combined with his childhood certainly doesn't help. As a 14-year-old boy with, again, no father figure in his life, he appears to be somewhat get addicted to and things of that nature on the internet. I'm sure that didn't help this situation. Dr. Williamson does indicate that he would benefit from specialized psychiatric, psychological, and sex offender treatment. The Department of Juvenile Justice is well equipped to handle that with a 14-year-old child. The Department of Corrections, it's our position, would not be. They're accustomed to dealing with adults and even teenagers that are older, in the neighborhood of 17 or 18 years old. Mr. Stone would be in a better environment if he were around kids his age and not institutionalized with people in prison, other adult offenders in prison, and things of that nature. None of that is going to benefit him in growing up and growing out of this and being rehabilitated. Certainly there has to be some punishment involved, and we acknowledge that, but there does need to be, we believe, some element of rehabilitation that he's not going to get in the state prison system. Your Honor has probably the widest range of sentencing options that I've ever seen before. You could sentence him to juvenile sanctions. You could put him in a high-risk program and retain jurisdiction through his 21st birthday. The court, that's what we would ask the court to do. If the court does not believe that's appropriate, Mr. Stone would qualify as a youthful offender based on these charges. If the court is inclined to send him to prison, we would ask that it be as a youthful offender with a portion in prison followed by a portion on offender probation so that he can get the treatment that he needs in an outpatient type setting. He scores, I believe, around 135 months. If the court is not inclined to give him juvenile sanctions or a youthful offender sentence, we believe that would be a rather substantial punishment, almost.
All right, thank you.
아버지는 일찍이 가족을 버렸고 마약 중독자인 어머니마저 떠나면서 제대로 된 보살핌을 받지 못했다는 겁니다. 변호인의 전략에 힘을 싣기 위해 피고인을 거두어 키운 할머니가 증인석에 올랐습니다.
But he is a caring person. He loves people. He takes care of people. He's kind. He's not violent. He actually was attacked one time by 5 people, and one of them being a girl. And when she hit him in the back, he turned around and he was going to punch, but he saw it was a girl. He pulled the fist bat and put it down, and he got out of that situation. But he's not violent. He's not an aggressive person. The one thing that really kind of stood out for me that he was struggling was because he hadn't used to lie, and he didn't used to take things and didn't do different things. His behavior was excellent before. And then all of a sudden, he was sitting at the dining room table, and I said to him, what is going on? Why are you behaving like this? I don't get it. And he says, why does my mother hate me so much? That's what came out. So then I realized he's in pain. That's what I realized at that point in time. That's when I started trying to get help from him, because that's the seed of what's going on. And then after that event, losing his sister really tipped him upside down. I mean, he just went, and he even told me, I said, why do you keep trying to get video screens? Why do you keep getting video screens? What's going on with this? What's going on with this? And he said, Grandma, when I'm watching the videos, I don't I don't think about my sister. It helps give me a break from thinking about my sister. I'm missing my sister. So that's what he was doing. He was kind of using the videos. That's pretty much, I mean, a lot of us do it. I do it now. I find myself scrolling through my phone just because I'm bored and I don't have anything better to do with my time. And so it's an escape.
Once Jesse is released from whatever period of incarceration the court deems appropriate, will you be there for him?
Absolutely, if I'm alive still.
Will you help support him kind of getting back on his feet into the community?
Absolutely.
Okay. Is there anything else you'd like Judge Herndon to know about Jesse?
취조실에서 손자를 강하게 꾸짖던 단호한 모습과 달리 법정에 선 할머니는 눈물로 자비를 구했습니다.
Just that he isn't the person that did this act in a natural way. He's not this guy. I think personally he panicked or something. I can't explain what happened, but he's a person that you love, you care, you liked having him around. He was a good person. He is a good person. And I mean, I care about Miss Edith too, I really do. And I don't know what's really fair here. I was myself recently attacked, and for me personally, the way I felt better is to have the person get help, because I think people who are in that situation, they need help. And prior to him, this incident happened, I was already reaching out for help. I called the police a couple different times trying to get help for him. I called the school counselor trying to get help for him. But nobody seems to, that end of things, they failed. And I really believe had he gotten the help that he needed then, he would not be here right now. I mean, I really believe that.
하지만 검찰의 시각은 완전히 달랐습니다. 검사는 이 사건이 불우한 환경에서 비롯된 우발적 충동이 아니라 극도로 치밀하고 의도적으로 계산된 범죄임을 매섭게 지적했습니다.
It showed a series of deliberate and violent choices by the defendant that ended up endangering the health, the safety, and really the life of Miss in this case, and ultimately caused significant physical harm to her. Miss considered the defendant to be a friend, that he was one of the kids in the neighborhood, that she showed kindness to even the day prior to this incident, sitting and talking with the defendant. And with this friendship, the defendant gained knowledge about Miss life, including the fact that she lived alone. He had awareness of when she was alone versus when family or friends were visiting based on vehicles in the neighborhood. He knew the layout of her home, and he was close enough with he helped teach her how to use her iPad, and knew that she had that device in her home that he would be able to access. Ultimately, through the investigation, when the defendant was identified as the perpetrator and interviewed by law enforcement, he initially denied entering her home, attacking her, and then ultimately, when confronted with photos of her injuries and the DNA evidence, little by little started making admissions to law enforcement. The defendant's grandmother tried to provide structure and responsibility for the defendant in that home, and that he, at one point in his interview to law enforcement, stated he wanted to get out of the house where he was heavily watched by cameras to go to a place where he wasn't under such control. And so that was one of his choices here in leaving his home and entering the victim's home. Throughout his interview, he begins to admit to entering his home, leaving, going back home, coming back, going back home, back and forth multiple times. All of this happening while Ms. 91 years old is sleeping in her bed and is unaware. She did not give permission or consent for the defendant to enter her home, never mind in the middle of the night.
양측의 팽팽한 대립 끝에 이제 재판부의 마지막 선택만이 남았습니다. 법정 안의 모든 시선이 리사 헌던 판사에게 쏠렸습니다.
I do not think juvenile sanctions or youthful offender sanctions are appropriate under these circumstances. His actions are egregious, and the victim in this case is lucky to be alive under these circumstances. All right, Mr. Stone, this is unfortunate for you, for the victim, for both of your families. I'm going to start with count 2. It's a burglary of a dwelling with a battery, which is punishable by up to life in prison. You're adjudicated guilty and sentenced to 25 years in the Department of Corrections. All right, is there anything else that needs to be addressed?
No, Your Honor.
징역 25년. 판사는 소년법의 관대함 대신 무관용 원칙으로 처벌을 내렸습니다. 선고가 내려지는 순간 15세 소년의 얼굴에는 그제야 자신이 얼마나 끔찍한 대가를 치러야 하는지 깨달은 듯한 표정이 드러났죠. 아무리 불우한 과거가 변명이 될지언정 타인의 삶을 짓밟은 잔혹한 범죄 앞에서는 그 어떤 면죄부도 주어질 수 없다는 것. 그것이 오늘 법정이 우리에게 남긴 메시지였습니다. 여러분은 이 사건에 대해 어떻게 생각하시나요? 여러분의 생각을 댓글로 남겨주세요. 구독과 좋아요, 댓글은 영상을 만드는데 큰 힘이 됩니다. 감사합니다. 처벌 실화냐?